Right, here we go. Back again. Alright? And today it is Elon Musk. And of course, Operation StarLink. Or if you like, the 5G KillGrid. Right? Because that is what it is, I'm afraid. And we'll get back to that in a minute. Here's a photo that's going about quite a lot from a video of Elon's StarLink operation, part of it, in play. There's another photo there. So what is StarLink? Well, if you look on SpaceX, it says that it's to deploy the world's most advanced broadband internet system. Sounds great, doesn't it? It then says it's for high-speed internet access across the globe. And it says with performance that far surpasses that of traditional satellite internet. And it will reach the hardest places on Earth to reach, usually, of course. And it also says StarLink is targeting service in the northern US and Canada in 2020, rapidly expanding to near global coverage of the populated world by 2021. And it also says that Starlink satellites utilize inputs from the Department of Defense's debris tracking system to autonomously perform maneuvers to avoid collisions with space debris and other spacecraft. Right, so it can't crash. It won't collide. Or so they're saying. What could possibly go wrong? Right? But that's the least of our worries, and we'll get back to that. But this was in the UK press, 21st of April 2020. Starlink space display to fly over Suffolk for the next few days. And people are in awe of it, right? And it says that the sightings of the controversial space tech are operated by SpaceX, a rocket company which hopes to beam cheap Wi-Fi to people from orbit. Ain't that something? It's going to be cheap Wi-Fi. It'll be basically almost free. There couldn't be any more of a red flag than that when it's for free. Trust me. And it then says they were launched into space in March, but their current orbital position has made them easier to see in recent days, which has been helped by the clear night sky. According to the National Space Centre, the SpaceX project has not been without controversy. Right? And it's basically astronomers, independent astronomers, are against it. And for very good reason as well. I can't blame them. And it mentions there about a clear night sky. Well, you can kiss that goodbye. Right? It then says astronomers claim that the number of visible satellites will outnumber visible stars, and that their brightness in both optical and radio wavelengths will severely impact scientific observations. Right, so we ain't going to be able to see the real stars, or that they claim the real stars, or planets even. We'll no longer be able to see them anymore once this is in full swing. I mean, like I've showed in the photo before, it doesn't look too bad. In fact, I'll put that photo up, this one, right? I mean, that's kind of nothing, really. But like I said, this is just the beginning. This is only the start of StarLink, because this is the end game, right? The world in a complete web. A SpaceX web, a KillGrid, right? And we'll get back to being a KillGrid in a minute, because I'll point you in the right direction to find out about that. But this from 2019, May the 15th, my birthday, funnily enough, it says that Musk says StarLink economically viable with around 1,000 satellites. Right, so he can start making money from it once he's put out 1,000 of these bad boys. And this is them here. This is a picture of the inside of one. And it actually reminds me of the inside of a heater. So what does that fucking tell you? Right? And it then goes on to say that SpaceX shared details about its largely secretive StarLink constellation program March 15th, providing update targets for commercial services, details about satellite design, and the thought process behind why the company's upper target is 12,000 satellites, about 6 times the number functioning in orbit for the rest of the world combined. It then says that, well, this is Elon Musk being quoted here, for the system to be economically viable, it's really on the order of 1,000 satellites, he said. If we are putting a lot more satellites than that in orbit, that's a very good thing. It means there is a lot of demand for the system, right? Well, I don't think you're going to have to worry, Elon. I'm pretty sure the demand will be high, right? And we'll touch on that again in a minute. But it then says that, well, Musk said reaching 12,000 satellites would indicate a very successful outcome for StarLink. Right? So it'll be a success once it's reached 12,000. But remember, this article came out in 2019, in May 2019. Right? Now remember that. It then says, Musk said subsequent StarLink launches would each carry roughly 60 satellites. Going forward, Musk said SpaceX could launch 1,000 to 2,000 satellites a year using its Falcon family of rockets, of course. Right, so they're wanting to be launching around 2,000 satellites a year. And they can roughly launch 60 in one go. Right, and so no wonder amateur astronomers are complaining. Because they know that this is going to basically block out the sky that we know, of course. It then says, after 24 launches, StarLink would cover most of the world's population. And 30 launches would be significant to cover the planet. And they're well underway. As we can see, it's all over the news. In fact, tonight, me and my wife will be looking out for it. And I can tell you now, if I had some sort of rocket, I'd be taking these fuckers down, right? But I probably shouldn't have said that, but never mind, right? It then goes on to say that Musk described the terminals as similar in size to a small or medium pizza. Interesting analogy. While Musk mainly talked about StarLink as a system to bridge the digital divide by connecting unreached peoples, Musk said the antennas could also serve the more lucrative markets of aviation and maritime that most satellite operators are pursuing. The antennas could also be used to connect cars, he said. Right? So it sounds great, does it? Your car being hooked up to fucking StarLink. I mean, like I said about the smart cities, what can go wrong? It's honestly, it's a cocktail for disaster. And it's complete control under this web. There'll be no freedoms whatsoever. Right? It then goes on to say, Musk said SpaceX is interested in signing telcos as customers, as well as governments that want to connect hard to reach parts of their countries, right? So it's for governments that want to connect with hard to reach parts, right? So like I said before, if you think you can hide from this, then think again, because it's going to get you no matter where you are in the world. This is what that's all about. It then goes on to say SpaceX plans to use StarLink to generate more funding in support of its goal of establishing a colony on Mars, Musk said, right? Starlink revenue would also help fund a base on the moon. Would you believe it? Right? And honestly, that was at the very end of that article, and I just about fell off my seat laughing. Right? It's all deception. And we'll touch on the the Mars base again in a minute, but we'll leave that article for now, because fast forward to October 2019, and yeah, SpaceX may want to launch 42,000 internet satellites, about five times more spacecraft than humanity has ever flown. Right, so we've now jumped from 12,000 to fucking 42,000, right? And it says SpaceX wants to surround Earth with a fleet of internet satellites called StarLink. Original plans called for launching nearly 12,000 satellites over the next 8 years or so. Right, so originally, at the start of the year, it was 12,000 over 8 years or so. And obviously, that changed. And it's been in the pipeline all along, of course. It then says, however, Space News reports that SpaceX has asked to launch 30,000 more satellites for a maximum of 42,000. That's about 20 times the number of working satellites today, and nearly 5 times the total of all spacecraft humanity has ever launched since 1957. Right, so you're getting a bigger picture now. And it then says, if SpaceX gets the go-ahead, the company's planned fleet of Starlink internet satellites could soon outnumber all the spacecraft humanity has ever launched by nearly 5 to 1. Right? This is how much. I mean, it's crazy, really, when you think about the numbers. And like I said, yeah, you can kiss the night sky goodbye. Because it says there, if it gets the go-ahead, well, yeah, it's got the go-ahead, all right. They're already in operation. And it then says there are a few reasons companies like SpaceX, Amazon, OneWeb, Iridium, and others want to launch large constellations of internet-providing satellites. I wonder. Chief among them is to rake in billions of dollars. Surprise fucking surprise. Right? It's all about money, of course. But in the long run, it's about a lot more than that. Of course, it's about the KillGrid, the 5G KillGrid, and everything, and I mean fucking everything, connected to the Internet of Things. And if you look here, this is another artist impression of what it's going to be like. And of course, this is all connected via laser beam, of course. Sounds great, doesn't it? It looks fantastic. Well, I'm afraid it fucking ain't. It's bad news, right? It's really not a world that I want to live in, if I'm honest. So we've got to really try and stop this. Let's face it. And also, Gwen Shotwell, the president and chief operating officer of SpaceX, said in May 2018 that completing Starlink may cost $10 billion or more. But in May, Musk said it could net the company perhaps $30 billion to $50 billion per fucking year by grabbing a few percent of the global telecommunications industry total business. Right? Damn straight it's going to be the only fucking business. Right? They'll wipe everything out. There'll be no competition. And I did see this as well while reading that article. Satellite collisions may trigger a space junk disaster that could end human access to orbit. Now, ain't that interesting? So they're basically saying now that they're going to control who can't and who can leave the Earth, by the sounds of that, right? Because it'll be too dangerous because of the space junk, of course, that's never visible in any ISS live feeds. Funny that, right? But anyway, in terms of the KillGrid, if you look on YouTube or Google, it'll say that one YouTube video, there's a lot more than that, with nearly 1 million views, even calls the network of 5G towers a KillGrid. Like today's most popular wireless communication systems, 5G transmits information on electromagnetic waves that deliver both benefits and potential harms. Damn straight fucking harms. There's no potential. It does. We know it does. We've heard from the experts that it does. Now, I'm not claiming that I'm an expert on it. Far from it. But the stuff that I'm seeing points to 5G being very, very fucking dangerous. And I've mentioned this man before, but I'll link his video in again. And it's Mark Steele, who's a weapons expert, of course. Now, look no further than this man in terms of 5G being a KillGrid. And of course, StarLink is part of that operation, but it could also be a part in Operation Bluebeam, which is not far away. I can imagine that's close. And there's another video that I will link in, the voice of Deborah Tavers, stopthecrime.net, who says 5G boils your eyes like fucking eggs. And it boils everything else along with it, of course. And this is from today. I seen this just before I came on. SpaceX's Mars city has come a step closer after a series of NASA missions. Hip hip hooray, right? So I'm sure Elon will be a happy chappy because it's now closer to getting his base on Mars, right? And it says SpaceX has a big challenge on its hands if it wants to use orbital refueling to build a Mars city by 2050, right? Fascinating stuff, innit? I'm sure, right? Anyway, just quickly on the vaccine, we might never get a good coronavirus vaccine. Oh dear, who'd have thought it, right? It says that hopes for a return to normal life after the coronavirus hinge on the development of a vaccine. So we're all waiting on this, otherwise we're all fucking doomed. This is the way they're portraying it. But there's no guarantee. Experts say that a fully effective COVID-19 vaccine is possible. Right? And of course, it might not be possible because they still haven't combated the other so-called flus that go about. Right? They're fucking useless. Anyway, that is about it. Bye-bye.